going into it, you have to decide if you want to be a luxury brand, a t-shirt brand, you want to sell sweatpants, sweatshirts. The most affordable and easy way to start is by selling t-shirts. It wouldn't cost you a lot to get a t-shirt print. It depends on what you want. That's what you have to decide, what type of clothing you want to sell. Me personally, I sell hoodies and t-shirts. Wherever you decide to start, I'm just gonna say, make sure that you have sample sizes of product. The reason is that you're now figuring out this market, you know what I mean? And it's sometimes like your logo might not be good enough, you know what I'm saying? So you want to test out products, you want to test out designs in small portion. You don't want to print 100 t-shirts. Welcome to the Godrich Podcast, episode number 8. If it's your first time here, subscribe to the channel. I make content for entrepreneurs and bosses and people that want to level up. So if that's you, hit the subscribe button. So today we're going to talk about how to start your clothing brand. I'm the owner, CEO of a clothing brand company called Blessed by God. We've been in business for 3 years, and I've learned so much over that 3 years, and I'm going to share some of that with y'all today. So the very first thing when it comes to your clothing brand or brand in general is coming up with a name for your brand. I cannot stress this enough. If you're going to come up with a brand name, it has to make sense. It cannot be something super generic. You know what I mean? Like, I want you to think of the customers and thinking of how you want to be perceived or received by your customers. You know what I'm saying? That's the first step going into it. So I want you to think of your favorite brands like Nike or Adidas, and think about their name and see how they market. You know what I'm saying? Coming up with a name for your brand, you have to be specific with your target audience and know what type of customers you're trying to attract with the name. You know what I mean? If you're making a luxurious brand or a regular brand, you know what I'm saying? I started with a name that was super generic. When I started my first year as a clothing brand, my first name was Desire Deletes. That was the first name I had. So people be asking me what my brand is about because they didn't know, or they had to go on a website. As soon as I changed the name to Blessed by God, it was much more clear that the brand was for Christians, for people that believed in God and just wanted cool merch. You know what I'm saying? So that was easier. You know what I'm saying? That was easier for me to get followers off of that and customers. Think about the target audience you're trying to attract to your brand, your customers, and then come up with a name that's gonna match it. It's gonna save you a lot of money and a lot of time in marketing. This is the number. Like, I feel like this is one of the most important thing before even getting a design. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you think through exactly what type of people will be purchasing your stuff. So your name is already going to stand out in the head because it's unique and it is catchy. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I'm going to say about that. The second thing is getting a design for your brand, for your website, and, getting a logo. So when you're coming up with a logo and a design, there's a few ways to do it. For me personally, I use Canva, and Canva is a great tool for people. Like, if you create content or whether you're just creating if you have a brand as well, Canva is such a good platform. You have fonts on there, you have a lot of stuff, and if you want to save money, Canva is the way to do it. You can create your designs on there. Make sure it's a transparent background. You download it and you upload it to your socials or your website or whatever. There's actually a few ways you can get it. You can outsource it to a third party, as someone that does graphic designing. Like, if you want to spend money on it, there's a site called Fiverr.com. You hire mainly artists from Pakistan and India. Like, there's some really good artists on there. You hire them and you tell them what you want and they'll get it for you. It's super fast, it's super easy. My more technical designs, like, I got from there. If you know Adobe Photoshop, you can do that. as well on there, you know what I'm saying? So you can also use Instagram, and just typing graphic designer or logo designer, and you'll see a bunch of people will show up with that tag, and you DM them, and they'll give you a quote or whatever. When it comes to designing, man, just be free with your creativity, and obviously you don't want to look like everybody else. You want to really put time and effort for the designs that you're gonna come up with, you know what I'm saying? And the next thing I would say is getting your website ready. And another thing is that when you're starting any sort of brand, make sure that people know you got to promote your shit, man. Like, this is the thing. When you have your brand, you got to promote it, man. You can't just launch your clothing brand or whatever brand you can't just launch your brand out of the blue. You know what I mean? Make sure you promote your business, man. Promote your company before it launches. You know what I'm saying? Don't be afraid, bro. Don't be afraid to promote your product. Like, it takes a lot to start something. It takes a lot of innovation. It takes a lot of time. You know what I'm saying? So please promote your product. You know what I mean? Before you launch it, on your personal page or Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, wherever you can, you know what I'm saying? Because when you promote your business, the people around you might be your first customers, your first followers, you know what I'm saying? So you really want to promote yourself before you launch, so people know you have something going. So when you do launch, you have a few orders, or you have a few customers, reviews for your site or whatever. So be sure to promote your opening or the launching of your brand on your socials, or you can do, like, if you have family members or friends, let them know that you're launching a brand. Like, that's gonna help you out. Your product is not for everyone. Not everyone is gonna like your product, but there's gonna be some people that do support you and ride with you. You know what I'm saying? That's how life works. You know what I mean? So be sure to promote before you start it, so you can get your feet warm. You know what I mean? So you can attract some more customers and whatnot, and prospects. Also, you want to make sure that you have your website URL set up, right? So when you have people coming in with websites, I personally use Shopify. You can buy a domain from Shopify. $1.99 is super cheap. I have purchased domains from GoDaddy. But the thing is with GoDaddy, it's like, the longer you keep this website, the more you pay. My first year having GoDaddy, I paid 99 cents. The second year, they were trying to charge me like $300, right? So be aware that some of these website hosts, they will charge you more the longer you have the website, the domain. Use Shopify. Shopify sells domains. If you're designing your website, there's a few ways to do it, right? I remember when I started, I used Squarespace. It's super simple. Like, the site's super easy, man. It, like, the website they already have the website set up, and you just fit in your company's name on the first page and whatnot. It's super easy. You know what I mean? Wix.com also is pretty good. It's good for people that are starting off, like, they already have the website design. It's super easy. Wix.com. Let's get down to the product. So when it comes to clothing, going into it, you have to decide if you want to be a luxury brand, a t-shirt brand, you want to sell sweatpants, sweatshirts. The most affordable and easy way to start is by selling t-shirts. It wouldn't cost you a lot to get a t-shirt print. It depends on what you want. That's what you have to decide, what type of clothing you want to sell. Me personally, I sell hoodies and t-shirts. Wherever you decide to start, I'm gonna say, make sure that you have sample sizes of product. You don't want to print 100 t-shirts from the jump. You don't want to print 100 hoodies from the jump. The reason is that you're now figuring out this market, you know what I mean? And it's sometimes like your logo might not be good enough, you know what I'm saying? So you want to test out products, you want to test out designs in small portion. Because the thing is, when you invest, for example, in 200 pieces, you still have to sell those out to get your money back that you initially invested. You might not get 1,000 sales from the jump, or 100 sales, or 50 sales, you know what I mean? I recommend that you should have at least 10, 20 pieces tops. You know what I mean? 2 colors, keep it super simple, and go from there. You don't want 5 or 6 colors. That's too much colors. You know what I mean? That's a lot of money investing from the jump. You want to test out your investment, because there's going to be a lot of other skills you need to learn. You know what I'm saying? Every time you start a new business or start a new brand, is so many levels that you have to learn. You know what I'm saying? So be sure that, take your time and test it out. This is trial and error. You know what I mean? You can do print on demand, or you can do your own, have your orders pre-made, and you sell your stock up front. So with print on demand, there's a few websites you can go on, right? There's teespring.com, Printful. Print on demand is basically you creating a website, and say you're selling hoodies. You don't see the hoodies, but have any initial investment. So this company prints your t-shirts and they send it to your customers. The downside is some of these companies is that you don't know what condition your product is reaching the customer. You know what I mean? There's no brochures, there's nothing. You know what I mean? So that's the downside of that. Sometimes the product quality is poor and stuff like that. But it's another way to do it. Like, you can start it with $0. You don't need money to start it. So this is what I'm telling y'all, that you don't need any money for that. You just go sign up on the site, and they ship out your product and all that. You know what I mean? But if you're looking for something more long term, and you really want to build a customer, repeat customers for your brand, for your business, it's better for you to have your product distributed where you have control of the distribution, where you're putting brochures, you're putting flyers in, so you can connect with your customers. You know what I mean? And that is gonna make you stand out, and make you put effort in making sure that your customers are satisfied. So there's a few different ways you can print your clothing. I'm not gonna get into all of that, but if you're gonna, for example, print t-shirts, you go to Google or whatever. You go to Google, you type in screen printers or t-shirt printers wherever you live. That's gonna pop up. You know what I mean? You can find this online. You know what I mean? For me personally, I don't order stuff from Indonesia and these places like Indonesia, Pakistan, India. Like, if you don't know anyone that has a connect there, you know what I mean, it might be risky. A lot of people are getting scammed now, so you want to be careful with that. But if you do decide to go that route, make sure to use a legit platform like Alibaba. So Alibaba Express, you can go to suppliers, you do bulk ordering over there. You know what I mean? I would not recommend bulk ordering when you're just starting, as I said, because when you don't know how to market your brand, when you don't know how to promote it, it don't mean shit. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't mean anything. Your design could be super cool, super dope. It's not gonna matter. You know what I'm saying? I feel like make sure you do your research and go out and see like where you can get your clothing from. You know what I mean? There's a lot of love to this. As I said, it's too much for me to break this down in one video, but whatever you do, just make sure that you keep the orders minimum. Then it's you see that you're picking up some momentum, you increase your order size, you invest more. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many companies that I started with, bro, and they're not in business anymore because Why people go out of business? Because they're not making sales. So you don't want to be stuck with 2,000 t-shirts or 2,000 hoodies. You can't sell them. The design maybe not popping. You know what I mean? You want to invest little, because if that hoodie's not working, you can say, boom, let me try this color. Let me switch something up and try something else. Let me start selling hats. So the last thing is very important is marketing. And just understand that so obviously selling anything is not easy, but because the level of entry is easy to get in, you have a lot of noise in the marketplace. You know what I mean? Anybody can say they're selling clothing. Coming into this, man, you gotta really make your brand stand out. You really gotta think about your target audience. You know what I mean? Use your different platforms. Like, that's how you stand out in marketing. Be everywhere. Have a TikTok account. Have a Facebook account. There's a few different ways you can promote, but YouTube Shorts, TikTok, those are, you don't have to pay to promote on there. But if you have creative content, you can make a viral video or something on there. But as long as you're using these free tools, right? There's something called omnipresence, right? Which means that it takes about 6-7 times for people to see your brand to buy from you. You know what I mean? The first time someone comes into contact with you, they're not gonna buy. Some people might buy, but you have to kind of like build a relationship for them to trust you. You know what I mean? So this is why you have to be consistent you have to be consistent, number one, but you gotta advertise. You gotta advertise to keep reminding them, you know what I mean, that you're here, that you're still in business. Look at McDonald's and Toyota and these companies. They're well known, but they're constantly running ads. They're on TV. You might see them in a commercial. You might see them in the TV. You might see them in newspapers. That's omnipresent. Why? Because they keep reminding people that they're here. They're selling. You know what I mean? They're always coming up with new ways to market themselves. You know what I mean? I'm just using McDonald's and these companies as guidelines of how you market your business. You know what I mean? And that's what you got to do. You got to keep innovating yourself. You know what I mean? If it's photos, if it's taking dope photos, or when it comes to taking good dope photos, the product that you're selling, having different color schemes, having clothes for different seasons, like that. That's another level of marketing. You know what I mean? Because you're looking at trends, looking at what people are buying. You know what I mean? And that's gonna go a long way, right? So you got to keep creating and reinventing yourself. You know what I mean? Because everyone buys for different reason, and there's different types of products for different people. You know what I mean? So you got to keep experimenting. It's a forever learning process. You know what I'm saying? From starting a brand, I had to really expand myself in terms of being creative, right? There's no wrong way to create, right? The more you create, the more you can create. So, like, for example, most of my designs, I really think of who is gonna buy them. You know what I mean? It's a process. You know what I'm saying? But if you can't manage all that stuff, it's better for you to outsource them until you can learn. You know what I mean? The more you learn, the more you save initially. So yeah, make sure you have a strong online presence and market yourself, man. Don't be afraid to market your product, man. Your innovation. You know what I mean? And yeah, let the world see your creativity. Let the world experience what you have to offer, man. So, and go from there. So that's the video, man. And if you got any value from the video, hit the subscribe button, man. It's a God Rich Late Night podcast. New episodes every week. And this is another one, man. See you guys in the next episode, man. Subscribe, comment, share. I'm out.